Om. There. So yesterday we saw in detail step number 6, which was reflect upon the inherent limitations of world pleasures. So till now we have done, we'll just do a little recap of what the different steps we did. So the first one is studying the Vedas daily. Second was perform diligently duties ordained by the Vedas. So here we saw Nitya Karma, Naimitik Karma. Of Nitya Karma, there are 5 types of yajnas: Kamya Karma, Nishiddha Karma, and Prayaschitta Karma. Then, third was dedicate all actions, duties as worship of the Lord. Why? So that we make it selfless and make it have that Ishwararpana Buddhi and Prasada Buddhi. Then, what do we gain by worshipping the Lord? We will gain a steady, composed mind that will be prepared for self-knowledge. Then the fourth was let the desire-prompted activities be given up. Because otherwise there is, you're moving away from egocentric to selfless actions, need-based actions. So when you pursue desire-prompted activities, you end up with which desires can lead to all the train of negative emotions. And then step 5, there is some issue with the internet, I think. Let me know if there is some, if there is interruption. Then 5 is let the multitude of sins be uprooted. Sin is any action that violates dharma. And here we saw that sin is nothing but negative tendencies that get into our life, right? So, and it inhibits our true nature, inhibits all the expression of all the human values. So, as negative tendencies drop off, we can discover greater and greater joy and satisfaction in ourselves. The sixth was reflect on the inherent limitations of worldly pleasures. We did this in detail yesterday. How, when we
Not audible, Dr. Brahmara.
Not audible and no screen also.
the problem is my both the I think there's an issue with the internet.
Okay. No,
Even on the just
there's...
give me a minute or two to set it up. 1 second.
Okay, then. Thank you.
Meanwhile, shall I read the points of step 6? Repetition.
Yeah, please go ahead, Savitaji.
Yeah. Okay. Step 6 was reflect upon the inherent limitations of the worldly pleasures. Number 1, see the defect in the worldly desires or pleasures. Until we see the defects in the worldly desires, our priorities in life are not going to be set appropriately. We don't question what the true source of happiness is. We have false conclusions that the world, which includes the objects, people, situations, they make us happy. Reflect on the moments when we gain happiness. We seem to get happiness when listening to music or reading a book or when we are with a friend or when we get what we want. We don't question if music or a person or a situation is the true source of happiness. Before we gain the objects, person, or situation of a liking, we entertain the desire for them and have a sense of lack or the feeling of I want. At the moment when our desires are fulfilled, temporarily the sense of lack goes away and we are comfortable with ourselves. The happiness we gain when our desires are fulfilled is not because of the object, person, or the situation. The happiness we gain is because we are comfortable with ourselves at the moment when our desires are fulfilled. Without knowing this, we have false conclusions that objects, person, or situations bring happiness and seek after them. If we reflect whether objects, person, or situations bring happiness, we can recognize they don't bring happiness consistently. The same object or a person whom we may enjoy today may be source of misery tomorrow. However, whenever we gain happiness, the self that is comfortable is always present. Screen has come, Dr. Brahmra.
Yeah, I know. I was just able to put it up. Hopefully, it will stay like this because there's been some intermittent change, disturbance in the Wi-Fi. So
Yeah.
you read up until?
Only 3 points are left. When we had last 3 points.
So when we
When
have
we
the
have-
sense of lack, we don't accept ourselves as we are. We have self-rejection. We are not comfortable with ourselves. At the moment when our desires are fulfilled, this sense of lack is temporarily suspended. So we are comfortable with ourselves. We accept ourselves and there is no self-rejection, or we are acceptable to ourselves. When we recognize that happiness is in the self, not in the objects or person, then we can realize the true source of happiness and as well as the defects and or limitations in seeking worldly pleasures. Even the desires that get fulfilled in our life is because of punya karma. Without punya karma, we won't even get the objects, people of our liking. Seventh is entertain desire for knowing the self. Behind all the desires we entertain, there is desire for self. We don't seek objects or people for their sake. We seek desires to please the self. Whatever is dear to me is because the self is dear to me. It is said in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Nothing is dear for its own sake. Whatever is dear to us is dear only for the sake of the self. Once we recognize all our desires are for the desire for self, then our primary desire is to know the self. Generally, we are not accepting of ourselves. We feel inadequate, insufficient, we have lots of wants and have a sense of incompleteness. We identify with our body, mind, and intellect and take ourselves to be a limited being. Because of this false perception, we don't like ourselves. We feel limited. When our desires are fulfilled momentarily, we drop all the notions and are comfortable with ourselves. Pleased self is our nature. Unhappy self is wrong conclusion. Happiness is where limitlessness is. Limitless is where happiness is. When we have this viveka, then the desire for self-knowledge arises. At this stage, desire for self-knowledge becomes firm. So the viveka that the unhappy self is wrong and the self is actually the nature of joy, of happiness, which is limitless. And then whatever we do, whatever we desire also is to feel comfortable with the self. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. And step 8 is as soon as desire for self-knowledge arises, leave the house or bondage quickly. As soon as the desire for self-knowledge arises, one needs to leave the house quickly. Leaving the house is not to be taken literally. Leaving the house means to be free from attachments. Attachment is an obstacle for gaining self-knowledge. As long as we are at home, We are occupied with so many engagements and duties. We are so attached to these preoccupations and duties. To gain self knowledge, we need a mind that is free from all entanglements and a life as simple as possible. Need to be free from emotional dependency, free from attachments to family members, free from social obligations. We need to be like a guest, having no sense of ownership, but like a steward or a trustee. Giving up attachments does not mean stop caring. Giving up attachments means to stop depending on others for happiness. Once we have the desire for self knowledge, we need to make this pursuit a priority and give up everything else. Basically, reset our priority list and detach ourselves mentally. It is not like you stop doing your duties, because in the step 2 it is mentioned, perform diligently all the prescribed duties. So you can't, as a householder, relinquish we cannot relinquish our duties. We continue to do them. But with what attitude? With Ishwararpana Buddhi and Prasada, as a worship of the Lord. So then we are slowly freeing ourselves from the dependence of people around, family members or social, the society. So we'll stop depending upon them for our happiness, to complete us. But you would do it all the same, do it diligently. And regarding the house as well, you will not be like the owner of the house, but you would be like a trustee of the house. Then that my will slowly start getting diluted. Me,
What
my,
is the
mine.
heading for this one? The number 8.
This one is leave the house. As soon as the desire for
As soon as the desire.
self-knowledge arises,
Leave
leave the house
Okay.
or bondage quickly.
Good.
So it's not literally leaving the house.
Hmm.
It is
Detached from
developing that dispassion.
First Viveka, now the dispassion.
Viveka and Vairagya.
Dr. Brahmaran, the previous step 7, I didn't understand that much about this Bragadaranya Upanishad.
Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam. Yeah. This we've been seeing, and whatever we do. Yeah, what is it that you did not get?
Like, I think the question here, we are not somewhere, not that line, but we recognize we have desire for ourselves, right? That self meaning the Atma. Yeah, nothing is dear for its own sake, but whatever is dear to us is dear only for the sake of the self. So what is dear to us that is dear to the sake of the self? Meaning, like, what is dear to Atma is like...
No,
it says nothing is dear for its own sake, but then it says whatever is dear to us is dear only for the sake of the self.
Yeah. So you're eating, say, gulab jamun. You're not eating it for the gulab jamun. You're eating it so you satisfy yourself. Similarly, any relationship you have is not it is not so much that other person, it's because of you that you love the person. We love our children, we love our spouse, we love our friends, not so much for their sake, but it is for our sake. Because loving them makes us happy.
Okay.
Similarly, even seva that we do. I think this we in the Gita home study.
We
If I
did
remember in
this.
in the introduction, this
Yeah.
was dealt with in detail. So even service that we do is
For our own
because we
sake.
love ourselves so much, for the happiness of ourselves, for our own sake, is we actually go
Right.
out and do it.
Okay.
My understanding is that is how it is in the beginning. It starts with, this is my limited knowledge. It starts with what gives us joy, happiness, contentment, sense of purpose, all that. But as you grow on this path, what it means when it says what is dear to the self is when you look at the qualities of the self, that becomes dear to you. And you start wanting to live like that. This is what I thought was it meant. What is dear to me is because the self is dear to me.
Meaning all that niragara, nirguna, nitya, like
The
that.
purity, all that, no, the qualities of the consciousness, which now we have kind of somewhere at the back of our mind, we know a few things. Again, this all comes with practice, conscious practice. So when you look at these qualities of the self as very dear to you, then you start doing things with that intention, because it is the self, so it becomes dear to you. This is what I understood. Of course, it is comes with some level of maturity. Initially, yes, we all got into seva because we loved it, all that. We still love it. We still long for it.
I remember Dr. Brahma said, we read in the introduction, we do everything for our own sake. So that also makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
See, because the tendency of anything is to move towards its true nature, its nature. Example was the ice. So when you leave ice outside of the fridge, what does it do? It melts and becomes water. Water is its inherent nature. Ice, in order to become ice, you require those particular, the temperature for it to freeze, correct? Similarly, our true nature is what? Happiness. So we tend to gravitate towards that happiness. That is the trigger for any of our actions, any of our desires, is because we inherently want to move towards our true nature. Therefore, Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavat. So we're even, even this manana that we're doing ultimately is because Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavat. It is where you break down anything, any of our actions. Ultimately, it is for happiness.
Right.
And happiness is what? Of course, we say, if you are happy, I'm happy. But ultimately, it is ourself. It's pointing to our happiness, right?
Our happiness, yeah. True.
Of course, what Sumaji has said was the karma yoga. Karma yogi is one who works and lives around out of joy. Not for joy, but out of joy.
Yeah.
But otherwise, everything is dear to us because it is dear to the self. Anyone wants to add on to this before we go on to the next? Here, I think with respect to desires, this is what it is. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati.
Mm.
But when you're doing your duties as a karma yogi, it is not so much as a desire, but it is coming from a sense of responsibility, of duty. It has to be done, and therefore it is to be done. And then, how are you doing it? You're doing it as an act of worship. But even then, that also ultimately boils down to the self. Isn't it? You look at it deeply. No doubt you're doing it out of a sense of doership. Out of a sense of duty. You're duty bound to do it. If a mother is waking up and cooking for the rest of the family, it is not so much. It's of course coming from a sense of duty of feeding the
As well
family.
as
But
love
when you
for the
look at it
children.
deeply,
Mm.
it is because feeding the family gives her joy that she does it.
Right. That's very true. You feel satisfied and happy and that people what they like. So this particular line, the Atmanastu Kamaya, so whatever dear to us, meaning anything like any action, objects, all of that, right? It's dear to
Yeah.
yourself, it's for the self also, and then our desires for the self, recognize all our desires are also for the desire for the self. Like you said, this for that happiness, the primary desire to know the self.
Yes.
Okay.
So that should be the trigger for us. This understanding that Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavati. The understanding of that should lead us to the
desire to
self-knowledge,
know the self.
the desire to know the self-knowledge.
Mm. Mm.
That is your step one, as in towards the self-knowledge, understanding that ultimately whatever we do is for the self.
Yeah, what we don't want to do is identifying with ourselves, with the BMI and
right.
Limiting ourselves. That is, so we have to be away from that attachment or identification. So that's what's going to lead us to know the self. The stage is here for we can sperm.
It is like to when you are knowing the self, that detachment happens naturally, I think. You don't have to detach yourself. You get detached yourself. Like you said, no, that you have to detach yourself. You don't have to detach yourself. It is when you are seeking the self, other thing detaches automatically.
No, I'm talking about identifying with the body, mind, intellect.
Yeah.
Then we are only kind of relating to our external body, not thinking about the self, right?
Self, right.
So that means that we are limited in that aspect. So we have to kind of widen our horizon, meaning we are doing it for the sake of self, meaning for your own sake. You're doing it, but they're not attaching ourselves to this body, mind, intellect portion.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Like, basically, what is that you have to be away from, like, your attitude should be not self-centered, as we read in the previous steps. It is only when you have a selfish notion that you are living your life with that selfish notion, then you are very far away from your true self. No, it's so contradictory, no? You are behaving selfishly, but you are away from yourself.
Yeah, the self-centered activity, right? Like,
yeah,
you only want to get all the good things, not the other people. Like that kind of stuff is not good.
Yeah, so that will
You,
make
yeah,
you distant from your own true self.
right.
But this comes from a sense of realization.
Yeah.
We are fooling ourselves. That is, this sentence here, Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavati. When you're fooling yourself when you say, I'm doing all this for your sake. We often end up doing that, right?
Yeah,
But
for the
actually,
family. Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sacrificing so much. I'm doing so much for your sake. It is not for your sake, my dear. You're doing it for your own sake.
It is a false statement, basically.
Which one?
I remember that statement in the introduction. It was given that
Yeah.
man is selfish by nature. It is the nature of the person to be selfish. So that line or somehow, like, it seldom it strikes whenever we are going through such texts, that man is selfish by nature. He is always seeking for the self. So whatever, even if you are going on this path seeking the true self, then that is also a selfish attitude. Basically, you are seeking that true self because uh, you experience the happiness. So you are seeking the self.
Yeah. It transforms. It is not that selfish attitude in the mundane sense of selfishness, but ultimately it is for that inner self. It is, see, because we are ultimately the center of the universe, whoever you take. So the universe starts from where you are. So everything is actually centered on the self. So this realization, and then what is this self? That eagerness to know, that inquisitive, that the spur of that knowledge to know the self. That is what is sent here. See, when our desires are fulfilled, momentarily we drop and we are comfortable with ourselves. We drop our notions. Pleased self is our nature. Unhappy self is wrong conclusion. Happiness is, I mean, there are some grammatical errors over here. I think we'll discount that. Happiness is where limitlessness is. Limitlessness is where happiness is. When we have this viveka, then the desire for self knowledge arises. And once we recognize all our desires are for the desire for the self, then our primary desire is to know the self. So that is when that actual, the urge, that mumukshutvam dawns. And then, as that desire for self knowledge arises, leave the house or bondage quickly. Which means what? Because attachment is an obstacle for gaining self knowledge. Because we are so engaged, caught up in the mind with so many, fulfilling all these attachments. So, freeing our mind is not leaving and delegating and not paying attention to the duties that we have to do, to be free from emotional dependency, attachment to family members, free from social obligations. We need to be like a guest, having no sense of ownership, but like a steward or trustee. Now, this trustee attitude, not just with the house, but also with our own body. When that ownership, when you rather than owning the body, you are like a trustee of the body. This body is a gift given to me. I will take care of the body like a trustee. Then even that attachment to the body will slowly start getting diluted. So giving up attachments does not mean stop caring. Giving up attachments means to stop depending on others for happiness. Once we have the desire for self-knowledge, need to make this pursuit a priority and give up everything else. So that tivrata comes in, and your top of your priority list will be self-knowledge. Then automatically all the negative tendencies will drop. Your desires will slowly drop because you have kept this as topmost priority.
Can we summarize the verse 1 headings then?
Okay, you want me to do that?
Just the headings, so we know
Okay.
that.
Actually, for that, it went to the first one.
Yeah. Oh, I know the yeah. That's
So
right.
the first verse talks of studying the Vedas daily,
Mm-hmm.
perform diligently duties ordained by the Vedas, dedicate all actions, duties as worship of the Lord, let the desire prompted activities be given up, let the multitude of sins be uprooted, reflect upon the inherent limitations of worldly pleasures, entertain desire for knowing the self. As soon as desire for self-knowledge arises, leave the house or bondage quickly. So do you want to run through each of us, share what we have, what our takeaways from each of these 8 steps is?
Yeah, it's something like at least two things, would be nice to keep remembering it. I should make notes actually. That's the only way I would remember it. It's okay. If you want to go to verse 2, we'll do it and then we'll come back to it.
So quickly run through this. We've done this in the beginning, I did, but we'll do this again. So what do the Vedas teach? Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda, and Jnana Kanda.
Right.
So the Karma Kanda is meant for purity of the mind. Why? Because Jnana Kanda happens only when a pure mind. Self-knowledge can dawn only in a purified mind. Therefore, reading, studying the Vedas, what does it mean? It means it's because if we tend to act and respond to the world, most of our actions are not objective. They are subjective. You're always doing things that are often desire based. Because I like this, I don't like this. So that they're directed, most of our actions are directed by our likes and dislikes. So if we live our life based on likes and dislikes, what are we developing? We are developing these vasanas, which will keep us bound to this cycle of birth and death. Whereas, supposing you're just doing prescribed duties that are prescribed by the Vedas, like all those, there are those 5 aspects of Nitya Karma, the 5 yajnas. right? So
Brahma Yajna.
when you're doing that, then slowly our vasanas are getting diluted.
Mhm.
That is what is. So when we act prompted by our vasanas rather than guided by the knowledge of what is right and wrong, we strengthen these likes and dislikes, which constitute the impurities of the mind. The Vedas provide guidelines of how to conduct ourselves in daily life. So basically, the goal of our life is moksha. So once you realize that, then your choices will be towards gaining moksha. You will start doing dharmic actions. Studying the Vedas provides us with the goal of life and means of achieving that goal. By studying the knowledge revealed in Vedas, we can clarify our goal in life, follow the means to purify our mind and achieve the goal, and perform diligently duties ordained by the Vedas. So, studying the Vedas is why? To know the goal and the means to achieve the goal. Second is perform diligently duties ordained by the Vedas. So, their Karma Kanda prescribes 5 types of karmas. What are they? Nitya karma, Naimitika karma,
Naimittika karma,
Nishidha karma,
Prayachitta karma.
Prayaschitta karma, and there's a fifth one,
Kamya karma.
Kamya
Kamya
karma. Correct. Kamya karma, right? So, 5 types of karmas.
Mm.
Karmas are to be performed, and there are karmas that are to be avoided as well. So, these karmas are to be done in the spirit of offering, with the spirit of doing it as a duty. So, Nitya karma is our daily duties. It is also known as Pancha Maha Yajna. Yajna is an offering. So, what are the 5 yajnas under Nitya karma? Brahma Yajna, prayers to the Guru, Rishis, and Vedic scriptures.
Deva Yajna.
Even studying the scriptures becomes a Brahma Yajna. Paying respects to the Guru, the Rishis, studying the Vedas, all that becomes part of Brahma Yajna. Then Deva Yajna is any form of worship of God. Pujas, rituals, etc. All that become part of Deva Yajna. Also, all the Pancha Mahabhutas, when you recognize and respect them, that becomes Deva Yajna. Third is Pitru Yajna, to our ancestors. And taking good care of one's parents, forefathers, and ancestors, because without them, we do not have our existence. So, performing rituals like Tarpanam, Shraddham, all that comes under Pitru Yajna. Then Manushya Yajna, service to humanity through our work, charity, etc. And then Bhuta Yajna is to the environment, to the plants, trees, and animal kingdom. So all this becomes part of our Nitya Karma. So see how beautifully when you're doing Nitya Karma, your likes and dislikes are not getting in there. Your actions are directed by what is to be done and not what I like to do.
Yeah.
What would be the Nitya karma for Pitrus? Like Shraddham Tarpanam is on those days.
Correct. That is Naimitika Karma. Pitru Yajna means you're taking care of your parents, respecting them, caring for them.
Yeah, they're
That is
alive,
one.
you
Any
take
other?
care of them. You just pray, I think, to them, or even offering water, like you do it to food, I know in India they do it to, they make then every day they put the food for the crows in India. I don't know, we don't
Yeah,
do it
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because that is offering to like our Pitars. And then they do worship Pitars on Amavasya day, for
Yeah, yeah,
normal.
but those are those days. No, what I'm saying, this comes under Nitya Karma, no? Pitru Yajna, taking care of
Yeah.
parents, that is one.
Matrudevo bhava, pitrudevo bhava. If
Yeah,
you're
Yeah,
having
that
that
is,
attitude towards our parents, that
yeah.
itself becomes Pitru Yajna on a daily basis.
Then
yeah.
you're
If your
taking care
parents
of
are
your
not
parents.
alive, then what do you
It's just there to think about them and pray to them, I think.
do?
I still did not do, I mean, I'm not
If they are not alive,
religious.
we do tarpan.
Not every day. Do
Tarpanam,
you do every day?
Not every day. That is the
So no, what
process.
I'm saying is this is coming, these 5 yagyas are coming under Nitya Karma.
Yeah. See, if you do on the specific days for the deceased people, that's okay, no problem.
So once in a year
Once
is
in
okay.
a or
That's what
twice,
you're
I think. Twice.
saying.
there's special, like
When you
in
say Nitya means, I thought every day. That's why.
Actually, people pray like,
probably
they pray the
regularly
God.
do it, yeah, and pray too, then to, in
Yeah,
my, I think in our custom, like they do this Amavasya specifically in the month of Puratasi and Thai and Adi. There's 3 months,
Hmm.
they say the Pitars come down those times and you have to offer the food, they say. So even this month that Amavasya comes in September, that was one of
Yeah, 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 yeah.
the one you have to do also.
I'm sorry, I'm diverting a bit, but this has been bothering me a little bit that
Mm.
uh, if you've
it is.
missed taking care of your parents or your parents are not alive, and what you do, that is one. Secondly, if they are already reborn, then what? Of course, I don't know the answer.
Nobody knows.
Then,
Actually, Somaji, actually, what like in our Nitya Karma, you are praying the God,
Hmm.
and then it is even like if your parents are not alive, then
Hmm.
you have that bhav of prayer attitude, you mentally you pay gratitude to them on
Hmm.
daily basis. I've seen people
Okay.
doing it. Yeah. So
Hmm.
they as we pray to God, similarly we pay gratitude to our forefathers on daily
Hmm.
basis. People do it,
So
and they
mentally also, that's very
and
nice. So
and
mentally you
and
can do, right?
yes, and I've seen like where even we put the pictures of or the frame pictures of our forefathers or like parents who are not live,
There
and
is
people do
part of
daily
Puja.
namaskar to them. They do daily namaskar to them. They offer their mental prayers basically. So that
Yeah.
is you are having that bhava, no, of
Hmm.
gratitude to
Yeah,
them.
yeah. I
That
got it.
is
Thank you.
uh, that is
This is
sufficient.
very nice.
That is the
Hmm.
nitya karma you are doing.
Yes, yes,
Just like
yes.
we are
Thank you.
offering in our puja
Hmm.
rooms. Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
same way.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Savita ji. That's exactly what I wanted to also say. We all have their pictures, right? We have pictures of our late parents in case our parents are no more. So even my mother tells me when we're going out on some, um, say, important, you remember them daily. That is why you put them up there. So you look at them and then you mentally offer your respects.
Yeah,
You take their blessings. So, and you emulate them, their good qualities, emulating them, respecting them. That brings up a sense of gratitude in us. It's not like I. You've not. What are you? You are nothing without them. you are here, your existence in this world as a human form is because of your parents and your ancestors.
Ancestors, yeah.
So it brings up that
The
your
wellness
perspective
and
with respect.
well-being of you and your family. There are two things they talk about, Pitars and the family god. They look after your family and they call santati, meaning your generation after generation, people come. So without their blessing, their hard work, we wouldn't be here. So expressing our gratitude and our respect to them is also one way of prayer, Nitya Karma, I think.
And Vandana ji is rightly mentioned here that Disha Pranayam includes prayers to our parents and ancestors.
Yeah. Thank you.
No,
Thank you for that.
going down in gratitude that we do, we offer it's so beautifully incorporated to the gurus, to our parents, ancestors, to all, to the environment, to the sun, to the moon, the earth. Everything is included there. Sun and the earth.
Very nice.
And also they say as soon as you get up in the morning, should keep your hand on the head and say Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. First thing, take blessings like that.
Okay. Thank
Also
you.
helping any old age people, will also relate to
any mother, father figure out there.
Yeah.
Need not necessarily be your own biological parents.
Yeah. And even going to old age home maybe once in a while, that will also be nice. Maybe. Yeah.
That comes as Manushya Yajna, service to humanity, service through our work, charity, etc., teaching. And then Bhuta Yajna. Then comes Naimitika Karma, that is the ones that are done occasionally, like marriage, Upanayanam, Shraddham, Tarpanam. And then Kamya Karma. These are to be reduced desire prompted actions. These are those that are done for personal fulfillment, like accumulating excess wealth, working for name and fame. Any egoistic activities that are done for selfish reasons comes under Kamya Karma. And how to get rid of our vasanas is by doing Nishkamya Karma. So you're moving away from egocentric actions towards selfless actions. Nishiddha karma. These are karmas to be avoided. All adharmic actions are to be avoided. Those that transgress universal values like hurting, cheating are to be avoided. Then prayaschitta karma. If one has transgressed dharma, they can perform prayaschitta karma for atonement. There are different kinds are chanting, japa, going to the temple, performing rituals, etc. There is one beautiful shloka that is done, which summarizes this prayaschitta, is Kayena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhavat karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayanayati samarpayami. This is one of offering, but there is also what is that?
In Gayatri mantra.
Mantrahinam,
Kriyahinam, Buddhihinam, no?
Bhaktihinam.
Bhaktihinam. Buddhi also, right?
Mantrahinam,
it's not
Bhaktihinam Janardhana Yatkritantu Maya Deva Paripurnam Tadastune. This is in the Sandhya we say, but then Kshamasva Me is also there. Please pardon me if I have unknowingly or knowingly done anything which is not right.
That's a summons.
Yes, tell me. Bela, go ahead.
If you made mistakes, then you ask for that pavitram.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jai Guru. Just a small note I wanted to add when we were talking about our Pitru Dharma, Pitru Karma. Uh, Passing these whole values to respect the elders to our generation, next generation is also very important. Talking about the role of them in our daily life. I mean, it's very important to remind them also. So the mistakes which were done by us, they are not repeated by them. So explaining them the value of our ancestors, very important, because right now the new generations, they do not believe in all the, though ritual part is another thing, but the way we follow their elders, our parents, whatever they had expected us to be like, so on daily basis, I believe that when we pass this on the information for our own children, that is also like a kind of offering gratitude to our pitrus.
Yeah.
See, that is why when say you're doing this Nitya Karma daily, you'll be like a role model to not just your children, yeah, to everybody else in the house, right? So that itself is like um you're creating that awareness. Of course, these days children, after they finish 11th and 12th, they go away and they're no longer there, but at least that is why we have all these samskaras. This under art of living also we have this sanskar kendra. Every organization has like Bal Vihar and Chinmaya Mission. Why? It is to inculcate these daily habits, learning, teaching them shlokas, teaching them good values, nurturing them. Basically, they all have the values. So all this comes under that. So why do we have to perform all these karmas and panchamahayajnas? Is to, because we are interdependent. We are not independent beings. Because we in the environment we live interdependently. And it is our duty in turn to contribute to other beings. Vedas teach us to live a life of dharma. Our life is supported by other human beings, animals, devatas, our forefathers, and saints. So, all these five types of beings contribute to our life, and it's our duty to contribute to other beings. Krishna teaches that those who don't contribute back and only consume are like thieves. All of life is interconnected and interdependent. So we need to play a role in contributing back. We are recipient of other services, so we should participate in the spirit of returning that favor. Again, doing our bit in the whole tapestry of creation. What happens if we don't contribute back and only fulfill our personal needs and wants? Vedas say that when we don't perform our duties, we are violating dharma and we will incur sin. Sin means papa or unfavorable situations. Papa is that which inhibits our true nature and joy. This does not mean that we should perform our duties out of fear. Idea is to understand the big scheme of things and realize our role. The Vedas teach that what we sow is what we reap. Yeah. So we'll stop here today. I know this whole sadhana panchakam, every point is so profound. Unless, see, it is not enough if we just read. We will have to incorporate this in our life. And for that, we of course have to do enough manana so that we slowly and steadily incorporate these steps integrate them in our life.
Yeah, I think at least focus on the Nitya Karma for now and see that would help to purify our mind.
Yeah. Any
Make
one thing
oneself-
we take also, the others will come. It's not like one thing after the other, but
Yeah, I mean, we are
it will-
doing it in a way, but it's more Shraddha, have to
correct.
apply it. Yeah, go ahead. I know you were trying something.
Yeah, I think we'll stop here today.
Mm.
And we'll do a summary of this again tomorrow and go on to the second verse.
Okay.
Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu. I will play the Sadhana Panchakam, the shloka, and then we'll meditate.
I just spoke with a woman who spent 9 years trying to conceive, and now her only child.
वेदो नित्यमधीयतां तदुदितं कर्म स्वनुष्ठीयताम् तेनेशस्य विधीयतामपचितिः काम्ये मतिस्त्यज्यताम् पापौघः परिधूयतां भवसुखे दोषोऽनुसन्धीयताम् आत्मेच्छा व्यवसीयतां निजगृहात् तूर्णं विनिर्गम्यताम् सङ्गस्सत्सु विधीयतां भगवतो भक्तिर्दृढाधीयताम् शान्त्यादिः परिचीयतां दृढतरं कर्माशु सन्त्यज्यताम् सद्विद्वान्नुपसृप्यतां प्रतिदिनं तत्पादुकासेव्यताम् ब्रह्मैकाक्षरमर्थ्यतां श्रुतिशिरो वाक्यं समाकर्ण्यताम् वाक्यार्थश्च विचार्यतां श्रुतिशिरः पक्षः समाश्रीयताम् दुस्तर्कात् सुविरम्यतां श्रुतिमतस्तर्कोऽनुसन्धीयताम् ब्रह्मास्मीति विभाव्यतामहरहर्गर्वः परित्यज्यताम् देहेऽहं मतिरुज्यतां बुधजनैर्वादः परित्यज्यताम् क्षुद्व्याधिश्च चिकित्स्यतां प्रतिदिनं भिक्षौषधं भुज्यताम् स्वाद्वन्नं न तु याच्यतां विधिवशात् प्राप्तेन सन्तुष्यताम् शीतोष्णादिविषह्यतां न तु वृथा वाक्यं समुच्चार्यताम् औदासीन्यमभीप्स्यतां जनकृपानैष्ठुर्यमुत्सृज्यताम् एकान्ते सुखमास्यतां परतरे चेतः समाधीयताम् पूर्णात्मा सुसमीक्ष्यतां जगदिदं तद्बाधितं दृश्यताम् प्राक्कर्म प्रविलाप्यतां चितिबलान्नाप्युत्तरैश्लिष्यताम् प्रारब्धं त्विह भुज्यतामथ परब्रह्मात्मना स्थीयताम्
They are getting this book banned. Get this while you still can. Let me show you page number 2.
Meditation is accepting this moment, living every moment totally with depth. Let us keep our spine erect and body relaxed and eyes closed. Relax your shoulders. Keep a big smile on your face. You're sitting like the statue of Buddha, very serene and with a serene smile on your face. Relax your body. Let's take a deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your chest region, throat and chest region. If you notice some tension in the body, just let it be. Accept those parts of the body where you feel a tension. The other parts are in comfort. Other parts are at peace. Become aware of that also. There are many good things about you and inside of you. Acknowledge them. They will never leave you. And the negative aspect you may see in you is never going to stay with you forever. They are all guests for some time. Let them be. Sit with the total acceptance of yourself the way you are at this very moment. Total acceptance of what is now here will lead us to deeper meditation. Let go of all the efforts. Shanti, Shanti. Let go of all your effort and be in this emptiness. And slowly and gradually become aware of body and surroundings. And you may gently open your eyes.